Coming to you direct from Silencer Shop Studios, home of the Glass Case of Emotion.
SilencerShop.com, the easiest way to buy silencers online, period.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
Hey, hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you for asking. Yes, indeed. I hope that all is well wherever you happen to be on planet Earth. And understand that there are people listening to us all over the world. Yes, Miss Nancy has been communicating via the internet. She's been communicating via the student lounge. And who answers the Facebook questions? When people Facebook us...
It's a combination of Zach, myself, and Miss Nancy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because she said that she wanted to let me know that we have listeners in England, in the United Kingdom, that listen all the time. So if you are in the United Kingdom, I'm sorry for that. But hello, and thank you for listening. And if you're in Australia or anywhere where they're speaking the English language, welcome. Even in South Africa, I know that we have South African listeners, and some of our friends this last week were in South Africa. One of them told me he was going, and then the other one didn't. You know that he kept that kind of a secret, right?
The trainer?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. No, he didn't.
Well, he didn't tell me.
He didn't tell you personally, but if you watch his live streams, he was asking people to come fill in for him while he was gone.
Yeah, but did he say where he was going to be?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And maybe it was...
I just texted him like the day before he left.
Yeah.
So.
Well, he's like you. He assumes that you watch.
Yeah, that's true. He probably just assumed that I knew. But anyway. The shipping ogre is with us, and we are
here, yes.
Once again all three in the padded room. We are all three of us sitting inside of the Silencer Shop studio located in Saratoga, Wyoming.
It's going to be that way for...
At least a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Well, Zach the shipping ogre, in addition to being the shipping ogre, he's also the store manager. Yep. He manages and handles all of the products. So if you see a product at studentofthegungear.com, it's there because the shipping ogre did it, because he made it show up. And something that he did just recently, in addition to coming up with official logoed hats, and they're embroidered.
Yep.
They're not screen printed. They're actually embroidered with real stitching, so they'll last a long time.
Yep.
T-shirts, okay, with their logos on them.
Yep.
And per special request, we have onesies. Do we not, Zach?
Kind of. They're one pieces. Onesies are like, they're longer. They're like long johns.
Really? Is that?
I don't know if that's actually
no,
true
it's a onesie.
Let's just call it
onesie.
onesie.
All right.
Because...
If you have a baby and you have those T-shirts.
Did I confuse you guys?
What was that?
It's episode 747.
Oh, my Lord. Really? That's yes, today is episode number 747.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do it at that point in time, but it just happened to play and as I was moving the thing. So anyway, about T-shirts and infant things.
No, you're just stupid.
So today on episode 747, we're announcing that we actually have officially logoed Student of the Gun onesies. And if you want to check them out, I did indeed drop the link into the show notes. So
they come in black, white, light blue, and pink.
I think it's charcoal.
Whatever.
It's charcoal.
Same difference.
White, pink, blue. And it says Student of the Gun in training. And we did that because we had a special request from, a new dad and a new mom. And they wanted to know how come that we didn't have those.
That request came specifically from the baby.
Yeah. Oh, the baby wanted to know why she couldn't get a Student of the Gun T-shirt.
Yeah, they sent us a picture of her typing on her keyboard, requesting it. That's not true at all.
So there you go. If you've got friends with kids, or if you have kids, or you have grandkids, or whatever, go crazy. And I just want to let you guys know that because Zachary, the shipping ogre, is he's the diabolical genius behind that. All right, Wednesday. What do we do every single Wednesday for the last forever? I don't know. We do a Brownells bullet points, and we have cool, new, hot, butt-kicking intro music from Judas Priest. Yes, that's Firepower from their new album of the same name.
Yes.
And what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about tools, specifically the Leatherman, and just do it. I shouldn't have to talk about this. It seems weird to me to bring this up, but I understand that not everybody has the same background as me and the same experience as me. But if you don't have some type of multi-tool, and I don't care if you buy the same one that I have or not. I don't care, really. Seriously, I don't. I have I think it's called the Leatherman Super or the Leatherman Ultra or the Leatherman whatever, that I keep in the truck in the console, and it's always there. I have another one that is attached to my pack that I use when I'm out hiking. And I've got I've got one of those little baby ones. Do you have one of those baby keychain ones, Jared?
No.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Oh, I thought we both got one at the same time. I've got one of the little keychain size Leathermans, and I actually keep that in my shaving kit because it has a little mini pair of scissors and a little mini pair of tweezers and so forth. What I'm telling you is this: if you don't own some type of a multi-tool, if you consider yourself a prepared individual, and a lot of us, what do? What did you guys do when you decided to get on the preparedness bandwagon or the preparedness train? You went out and you got guns, and then you got ammo, and you got magazines, and you got holsters, and then you got rifles and slings, and you got all that stuff. But the truth of the matter is, if you're out in the field, if you're doing any kind of real work, you're probably going to use your tools more than your guns, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yes, absolutely. So I dropped the link in here for you guys. And of course, this is Brownell's Bullet Points and it's Guns and Gear Talk, so we're talking about gear today. There are so many good products available today that there's really kind of no excuse not to have one, other than you just don't want to. I don't care about that. I don't want one. I'm not going to have it. Okay, great. For instance, this last weekend when we took our visitors, we went fishing. I whipped out my Super Leatherman, and I used my Super Leatherman to pull fish hooks out of fish's mouths because it has needle nose pliers. Worked out very, very well. And then I used the knife when we were doing food prep, and I use it all the time. So if you guys don't have some type of a valuable a multi-tool, and like I said, if you go, I dropped the link in here to Brownell. Some of them are out of stock currently because they're really popular models. Oh, geez, you know what they have here? Jared?
What do they have?
You know the Estwing Tomahawk that I have?
Oh, yeah.
By Estwing Hammers? They're out of stock, though. Oh, that's crap. The Estwing Tomahawks. This is just like a quick side note. Estwing, you're like, you mean the guys that make the hammers? Yep, those guys. They make a Tomahawk, and it is really cool. Oh, man. It says it's been discontinued. Say that that's not true.
It's not true.
All right, I'm going to have to look it up right now. Because I just saw those freaks at the at SHOT Show. Didn't I?
I have no idea. Did you?
Yeah.
Jared, I wasn't there. Did he?
Maybe. Oh. I didn't see them there.
Well, let me see. I typed in S-Wing Tomahawk, and you can go to Amazon.com. Or smile.amazon.com and support your favorite charity, which is what we always do. Yeah, here we go. Whew. Yeah, I actually was turned on to this tool by a Special Forces buddy of mine. He called me on the phone. This is the relationship we have. He calls me on the phone. He's like, dude, you're not going to believe what I found today at Home Depot. I'm like, I probably won't. What did you find today at Home Depot? He goes, you know S-Wing hammers? I said, yes, I'm familiar with them. He goes, they make a Tomahawk. I was like, get out of here. He's like, no, I'm not going to get out of here. They make them. And I said, I have to have one. And so I bought one.
There you go.
They also make a double-sided handy axe and a machete. They make a machete.
I've never had a double-sided handy before. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a double-sided handy axe. And what else do they make? A camper's axe. They have one with a super fancy leather handle. I'd rather have the one with the rubber handle myself, quite frankly. But there you go. You didn't even know you were going to get that. That was kind of a bonus for you freaks today in the guns and gear discussion. But if you don't have some type of a multi-tool, you really need to get one and keep it in your pack, keep it in your whatever, if you want to be a prepared individual. There's when you go to the field, you can tell who the prepared people are, because there's the prepared people that have the tools that they need, and then there's the ones who are always trying to borrow tools from other people because they didn't bring the right gear. So which person do you want to be? Do you want to be the person that has the gear, or the one who's always trying to borrow the gear? Exactly. It seems like in my book, the Patriot Fireteam Manual, I wrote a whole section about gear enablers, and not being a gear enabler.
I do remember you talking about that before.
Yeah, and some members in our audience have taken that to heart. I know that we have one listener whose children, or at least one of his children, has taken the gear enabler speech to heart. You know who that is, don't you?
Yes.
Someone yelled at their sister and told their sister that they were not their gear enabler.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome. You know what I'm noticing here, Jared?
What?
You didn't wear a hat when we went into the mountains.
Oh, I got burnt, didn't I?
Yeah, your forehead is.
Did I really not wear a hat?
Nope, you didn't, because you're a Mongoloid.
What the?
I don't know what you were thinking, but yep, yeah, your forehead got burned. You're like, how do you get your head get burned in the snow? Those of you who live in the upper elevations and ski and so forth, you go up there in that white powder, and man, it's like a mirror.
It's crazy that 2 days apart, one day we were wearing beanie hats, and the next day we were walking up in the mountains in our jackets.
It was warm.
In the mountains, and we had to take the jackets off.
We were like unzipping our jackets because we were warm.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's still, what'd you say, 4 to 5 feet of hard pack on the road up there?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, there's still 4 to 5 feet of snow.
And the further up you get, the taller it is.
Yeah. It's going to be a while before they open that road through the mountain pass. But we went up there, beautiful, gorgeous sunny day. There's no pollution here unless there's a forest fire. But when there's not, the sky is just a brilliant blue. And you can see the stars at night, and it's gorgeous. It's free America. So I highly recommend that you take advantage of it if you can. All right, what are we going to talk about now? I guess we're just going to move on, and we're going to thank our friends. Thank our friends at Froglube. They are green, minty fresh. It's a bio-based firearms lubricant. They're an American veteran-owned company. I think you should support them. There you go. And in addition to that, they are extreme.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Extreme. I'm trying not to spike too far into the red when I say extreme.
You could do it louder here.
Extreme!
There you go.
Yeah, I think I broke it then. All right, Century Arms, the sweetest smelling arms maker in the U.S. of A. Yes, indeed. And as we said before, we will be there. We'll be visiting with them at the NRA annual meeting. And we'd love for you guys to come by and say hello if you can. So I would like that. Century Arms at centuryarms.com. Pretty simple. DuraCoat, because life is too short to have an ugly gun. Beginning and end of sentence. And if you'd like to not have an ugly gun, it's pretty simple. Just go to DuraCoat Firearm Finishes. DuraCoat firearmfinishes.com. And when you go there, you better have some time on your hands. DuraCoat Firearms with an S, right, Jared? Or no, arm. It's arm with an M.
Either one. DuraCoat Firearm Finishes.
Yep. Have some time on your hands because there's so many choices.
Can I tell a secret on myself?
Sure.
No.
So when we first got finished redoing the site for them, and I announced it on the radio, and I said it was DuraCoat Firearms with an S, finishes.com. Mm-hmm. And then I went to it, and it wasn't, but it was available, so I bought it and redirected it. So there's that.
Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Yes. But while you're there, get your slightly darker black, get your color of the month, get your Dura dyes, your Dura blue, your Dura everything. Just do it because there's no reason to have an ugly gun. There just isn't. Just don't do it. So, so where are we going to go? We're going to go to DuraCoat Firearm Finishes.com.
Yes.
Yes. All right, SWAT Fuel. SWAT Fuel wants you, yes, you, sitting out there in your chair, on your couch, on the treadmill. I don't care where you are. If you're driving your car, 10 and 2. SWAT Fuel wants you to have a stronger body and a sharper mind because the two of them go together. We don't just need a bunch of muscle-bound mongoloids in America. We need people that actually have the ability to think. So, and they can help you do that. They want to help you on that journey to having a stronger body and a sharper mind. If you go to SWATfuel.com and use the promo code SOTG, well, you can save yourself some money. There you go. And if you like talking about fitness and fighting fitness, and you'd like to get a little bit farther deep in the weeds, every Thursday on bonus hour number 1, we get a little bit farther into the weeds as far as fitness and SWAT Fuel and strength training and all that jazz. And we're going to do that again tomorrow.
And what I've been doing recently is answering questions. I post a post in Liberty Mastermind, and they post questions on there, and I'll answer questions from anybody in the grad program. If you're part of the grad program, then go to the Liberty Mastermind. I'll refresh that post today. If you got questions, I'll answer them tomorrow. I pick one question per show topic. So, and if you're not part of the grad program, go to getsotg.com. Oh, and another thing, if you are part of the grad program, we have a fighting fitness channel on the Discord where we've got questions and discussions going on in there. Discord's not only voice, it's also text. So if you want to get in there, Jess Britt's a manager, Justin Finney's a manager. So contact them and they'll get you a link to get in.
Oh, there you go. Very good. And like Jared said, we're going to be talking about that tomorrow on Thursday. And if you want to join us, go to getsotg.com, follow the instructions, and become a grad program member, and you can hear all about it. All right. What else do we do on Wednesdays? Well, we like to do our Guns and Gear segment, which we just did. And we're going to do a Student of the Gun Homeroom. Every week, we do a Student of the Gun Homeroom. It's brought to you by our good friends at Crossbreed Holsters. They want you to be dangerous on demand, and that is the topic. How can we help you to be dangerous on demand? All right. Thank you to Madison Rising for that theme music. That's Dangerous by Madison Rising, and that is the Crossbreed Holsters Student of the Gun Homeroom theme music. Now, if you go to Crossbreed Holsters and you want to save some money, you probably want to save some money. I'm guessing you do. Use our promo code SOTG18. SOTG18 when you check out, and you're going to save some cash. Now, the topic of today is this. How long should it take to break in a new holster? That is a very good question, and I'm happy to address that. Now, we get kind of spoiled in America, or we've gotten kind of spoiled in the last, 10 years, maybe 15 years or so, with the advent of molded polymer holsters, the infamous Kydex type holsters. Now, if you know anything about the Super Tuck Deluxe and the other products from Crossbreed, they're essentially hybrid style holsters. You have a Kydex style holster pocket that's molded to the gun, but you also have natural cowhide or natural horsehide. Now, they're not going to mold the backing. The backing, the part that goes against your body, yes, the leather part. And there's a reason for that, because it's way more comfortable for a human being to have leather pressing against their bare skin and against their body than it is to have plastic pressing against their body. It's just science. I didn't make it up. It's just the way it is. So when you get your holster, and the reason I bring this up is because I've actually had some questions, and one of our audience members just bought a Super Tuck Deluxe for their carry gun, and they told me about it, and they said, hey, I'm going to start carrying this, and yada, yada, and we got talking about it. And I think a lot of people, if they've only used molded plastic holsters in the past, and it's crazy to me, because I've been carrying a gun professionally my entire adult life, and so go back 30 years or so when I started carrying a gun. When I started carrying a gun, plastic holsters were junk. They were garbage. Nobody would buy one, and it was child's play. And if you were like in the late 1980s, when I took my first John Farnham class and so forth, if you were a serious gun carrier, you wore leather. You paid the price for a well-made, hand-boned leather holster. And so gun carriers 30 years ago understood carrying, breaking in, using leather holsters. Fast forward 30 years, the average concealed carry guy, it's the exact opposite. Most of them are not buying molded leather holsters. Most of them are buying some type of polymer or nylon holster. And that was the other thing, Jared, you don't even remember this or know this, but when I was carrying leather holsters, the other things were the black stitched nylon, one size fits everything / nothing holsters. And if you showed up on a range with one of those, everybody knew immediately that you were an amateur, because that's what amateurs did. Amateurs spent $9 on a stitched nylon, one size fits nothing holster. So if you wanted to be considered a professional, you paid the money and you got a molded leather holster. So today, we have people that are buying Super Tuck Deluxe holsters, and that may be the first holster they ever bought that's actually made out of real leather. So it's unique. And like I said, they're not going to mold, let's say, whatever your favorite thing is, Glock, yada, 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 Canik. They're not going to mold the back. The front is molded specifically for that gun, but the back's not.
And that's a good thing, because you want it to be conformed to your specific body type,
Absolutely.
body style.
Absolutely. That is a good thing. You're like, why don't they mold it in the, why don't they do that in the shop? No. What you need to do is you need to put the gun on, put the holster on, get a good belt. That's something that I shamed my friend about, or one of our, he's a friend of the show, is he didn't have a good belt. He had his normal, like, generic clothing belt.
And what happens is it breaks at the most inopportune time.
Yeah. I told him, I said, that belt's going to break. You need to go ahead and get a good one. And he said, yeah, I saw that they had them on sale on Crossbreed, and I should have bought one. Shouldn't I have? And I said, yes, you should have.
Yep. And I want the leather Crossbreed holsters. The reason I like them so much is because they conform. They fit tightly around my voluptuous curves.
Yes. What you're going to do is you're going to take a good belt. You're going to take your Super Tuck. You're going to put the gun in it. You're going to put it on your body, and you're going to start wearing it. And you're going to wear it not just for an hour or two and then take it off. You're going to wear it all day. And you're going to keep doing that. And what's going to happen is that holster is going to eventually conform and mold to not only your gun, but it's going to mold to the shape of your body, so that every time you put it on, it will naturally go back into the same place, which is one of the reasons why it's the most comfortable. That's one of the sneaky reasons why the Super Tuck Deluxe is the most comfortable, most secure holster you're going to wear. I know you're like, wow, it's almost, Jared, it's almost like they did that on purpose.
Almost, yeah.
It's like they had a super sneaky plan. So if you bought a new holster and it's made out of leather, not plastic, it is going to take a week or two. Give it a couple of weeks. Give it about 2 weeks before, and it's not going to be uncomfortable, but it's going to break in. It's going to conform to your gun and to your body. And that's what you want. That is absolutely what you want. So I just thought I would address that. And it was kind of weird when I was prepping the show notes, because I was thinking, if people like me, they grew up with leather holsters and they understood about breaking in leather and so forth. For instance, when I became a United States Marine, we had 100% black leather boots, and you had to break your boots in. They had to conform to your feet before they were comfortable. Today, kids are just taking boots out of boxes, putting their feet in them, and driving on, and there is no hard break-in period. So you kids have it so easy today. You just do.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a complimentary online training course called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life.
Get instant access by joining the Student Lounge for free at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of these questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
All right. If you are a parent, all right, you have children, you're a grandparent, and you have children who have children, and you're concerned about the upbringing of your children, you're trying to raise your children, and you're trying to instill your own values. Do we still do that as a nation? Do we still attempt to instill values into our children? Hard work, honesty, things like that, values?
No, what you do is you let the kid make their own decisions and make their own mind.
You just let the kid decide whether or not it wants to be hardworking or honest.
Yeah,
and maybe the kid will just decide not to. I don't want to be hardworking and honest. I want to be a lazy thief.
You got to give them freedom. Rules are too restrictive.
That's right. You just have to take those kids and instead of showing them and guiding them and giving them the example. You just let them run wild like animals out in the field there. I wanted to make you guys aware of what's going on out in the People's Republic of California. And this has nothing to do with guns. And guns in California really have nothing to do with guns.
Well, but isn't this student of the gun? I don't understand.
Gun control in California has nothing to do with guns themselves. They don't hate black rifles in California because they give them to their police officers. They don't hate high-capacity magazines or what are really standard-capacity magazines in California. They don't hate those because they allow the people, the special people, the elite people, the ones who have badges and ID cards and, who are supporters and members of the state, those people get to skip over those laws that apply to the peasants. So it's not so much that they don't like those things. It's just that they don't like the peasantry having access to them. It's okay if the people who work for the state have access to those evil high-capacity magazines or standard capacity if you're a reasonable, intelligent human. It's okay if the people who work for the state have evil, mean, semi-automatic black rifles. That's okay. Just as long as the people, the citizens, the taxpayers, as long as they don't have access to them, that is the goal. Because this has nothing to do with guns. It has to do with control. Who's in control and who's not. Now, about 240 some years ago, we decided that we were going to form a representative republic. And when we did that, we're like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to give the taxpayers, the people that actually produce, we're going to put them in charge of the nation so that we don't end up with a situation where you have a ruling class who decides what is best for the peasantry, which is the model of pretty much all of Europe and all of the world. You have a ruling class and then you had a peasant class. And the ruling class just kind of, they would tell the peasants what was what, and they had no choice. They were just stuck in the middle. They were disarmed, they were taxed to death, and, the king and his parliament would just tell them what to do. And we decided, we're not going to do that here. We're going to change things. Well, it's been 200 plus years, and the people of California, the ruling class of California, have decided they know better than the stupid peasants and taxpayers. They know what's better for your children than you do. I've got a story that points this out, and it's from a site called LifeSiteNews.com. California School District says parents cannot, it says can't here, but I'm going to say cannot, as in you are forbidden. The state will not allow it. Cannot pull kids from the new LGBT sex ed program. That's interesting. Dateline, Orange County, California, April 19th, 2018. California is about to implement a new pro-abortion, pro-homosexuality sex education classes. And one school district has told parents that they have no choice but to put their children through this training. That's interesting. I thought the parents were – Jerry, did you used to think that the parents were supposed to be in charge of the schools, that the teachers and superintendents and principals, that they worked for the parents?
Well, when I went to school, that was actually still the case.
Oh, okay. That's not the case
surprisingly,
anymore.
yeah.
California enacted the California Healthy Youth Act of 2015. How does Healthy Youth Act – under the Healthy Youth Act, the law says students will develop healthy attitudes for gender and sexual orientation. Alternative lifestyles. Okay. Parenting, adoption, and abortion. So you can send your kids to junior high, and their teachers can teach them how to get abortions. About how that is well, and you say, but yes, Paul, I don't raise my children to believe that murdering inconvenient children or infants is the way to go. See, it doesn't matter because you're an imbecile and your kids don't belong to you; they belong to the state. In addition to what I just talked about, they will be implementing a study guide for transgender children called I Am Jazz, and they're calling it a sexual health toolkit. That's right. So now your children can be taught by their teachers that their parents might have taught them that they're a little girl, or their parents might have taught them that they're a little boy, but they're wrong. And their teachers are going to show them that. Oh, you see the other stuff that's coming up in this?
I clicked on the actual bill, and let me move the computer so I can actually read it into the microphone. It says, here we go. Existing law, the California Comprehensive Sexual Health and HIV/AIDS Prevention Education Act authorizes school districts to provide comprehensive sexual health education consisting of age-appropriate instruction in any of kindergarten and grades 1 to 12. So from the kindergarten age.
Yes. They're going to teach your kindergarten.
And that was from the law that already exists.
I Am Jazz.
Yeah, this specific one is just they made addendums to it, I guess. But I never realized that starting in kindergarten, and when you're that young, you don't even think about sexual
when you teach
stuff.
All right, in a sane world, do you know when children need to be taught about reproductive health?
When they hit puberty.
When they hit puberty. Children who are 6 years old don't need to be talking about reproductive health. Now, you say, well, but that doesn't tell me how they're not. Well, here's what we have. We have, in a memo dated March 29th this year, the Orange County Board of Education, Orange County Department of Education, General Counsel, that's a lawyer, Ronald Wenkart, says that the law's opt-out provision does not apply to instruction materials or programming that discusses gender identity. Shouldn't that be taught in English class? Shouldn't they be talking about gender in English class, since gender applies to the written and spoken language, not to the sexuality of animals? Yeah, I'm sorry. That was the old world where we had sense. So they're not allowed to opt out of instruction materials or programming. Jared, do you like how they use the term programming? We're going to program your children to think right about gender identity, gender expression, sexual orientation, relationships, and does not discuss human reproductive organs. Okay. Parents who disagree with the LGBT positions may not excuse their children from the instruction, Wenkert says. Get this. The lawyer for the Orange... Why does a school board feel that they need a lawyer to force parents to comply to their will? I
don't know. That's pretty messed up.
Okay. This guy, Ronald Wenkart, or Wanker, I think he pronounced it Wanker.
Let's go with wanker.
Ronald Wanker says, this is a quote from the lawyer for the Orange County Board of Education that's going to force your children into pro-abortion, pro-LGBT gender studies training. He says, parents do not have a constitutional right to excuse their children from portions of school curriculums that they find objectionable. So there you go, parents. I just thought you would wanted to know that if you're in California and you have children, according to His Majesty and His Majesty's minions, you cannot excuse your children from things that you don't agree with, that you find objectionable, that actually are counter to the values that you've been attempting to instill in your children. According to them, you don't have a choice. Because why? Because you're a peasant.
What judicial precedent is he citing? I can't find it in this story.
So we've got another story. This is from Louder with Crowder, and it's from April 18th, 2018. California leftists actually want to ban the sale of certain books. Yes, you're like, but what? No. How can – but I thought that the left, that Democrats, that they're the most open-minded people, that they're the most accepting people, that they're the most tolerant people in the world. Just ask them. They'll tell you. Nope. Wrong answer. The story from Louder with Crowder goes like this. Adolf Hitler and his Nazi party are famous for many things, among them the slaughter of innocent Jews, gun reform, public school systems, and Adolf's foray into triggering choices in facial hair. But Hitler also liked to warm his hands over the flames of burning books. The only knowledge Hitler and his brown-shirted minions wanted people to have was that had been cleared by the government first. Got to protect people from those scary books containing knowledge, facts, and stories, and the dreaded verboten opinions of others, which is my segue into this new story. California leftists want to ban the sale of certain books, specifically any book that run counter to the LGBT narrative. All right, this is an actual bill in front of the California House and Assembly. Assembly Bill number 2943 would make it an unlawful business practice to engage in a transaction intended to result or that results in the sale or the lease of goods or services to any consumer that advertise, offer to engage in, or engage in sexual orientation change with an individual. What? What kind of psychobabble is that? First of all, you might ask yourself if you're in California, why is the assembly, the official state assembly that's paid with taxpayer money, why are they spending their time focusing on whether or not you sell a book that is counter to one agenda or another?
And one thing that I want to drive home here is that these bills all start with the people of the state of California do enact as follows. So what this is saying, if you're listening to me and you live in California, you are enacting this.
This is not about guns, folks. And I know all of you folks out there in California with your California legal, modified, featureless, compliant guns that you think you're getting around the law. You're not. Okay, you're not getting around anything. What you're doing is you're being a good, compliant little slave. And they're taking your money. Yeah, you. If you work in California and you get your freaking pay stub every 2 weeks or every month or whenever you get a pay stub, I don't know. Look at it. Look how much money you are giving to the people who are going to the state house to come up with bills to decide whether or not a business in your state is allowed to sell a book, service, good to any consumer that offers a sexual orientation change. And you're like, what does that even mean? That's psychobabble. Okay, so it says, so goods like books which offer advice on how to not be homosexual would be illegal. Books which are not forced on anyone, by the way. I mean, it's the free market and you can go and buy them. No one is forcing you to buy books in California. Do they force you to buy books in California, Jared?
Maybe, I guess.
I don't know. If you guys are in California, you're listening to me. Do people come to your house with guns and there's like a book salesman and they're like, you will buy this book or you will be shot? You know, when you walk into a store, do they pull you aside and say, before you leave, you have to buy this book? Or is it like an option of the free market?
Well, it'd probably be something more along the lines of... never mind. It was a dumb thought.
Okay.
No, you have to say it out loud. You can just leave
No. Don't persecute the kid. This is the free market. So the bill defines sexual orientation change efforts as any practices that seek to change an individual's self-chosen sexual orientation. This includes efforts to change behaviors or gender expressions, or to eliminate or reduce sexual or romantic. This is an exact quote from the bill. To eliminate or reduce sexual or romantic attractions or feelings toward individuals of the same sex. So if there is a book in California that says you should not be homosexual and here is why, it will be illegal.
Will they get rid of romance novels that don't include these things that they're forbidding?
I don't know. So I just thought you guys should know about that. That in addition to not being able to opt your children out, according to the state, according to an attorney for the People's Republic of California, if you're a parent, you do not have a constitutional right to take your kids out of the pro-abortion, pro-gay, pro-homosexuality training classes that they're going to put your kindergartners and first graders through. According to them, you don't have that right as a parent. And then it goes even further. There is a bill which is actually on the floor to make certain types of books illegal because they don't follow or go along with the LGBT narrative. It's not about guns, folks. It's about control. Control of what you own, control of what you read, control of what you say, control of what you think, control of what your children think. And if you think it's no big deal, if you're perfectly happy to live in California with your 10-round California compliant, featureless compliant gun, and you think you're getting around the law because you bought this little thing to change your gun and you're like, look at me, I'm getting around it. Yep. There you have it. And I'm sorry if the truth hurts you. And I'm sorry if the truth hurts your feelings, but I'm not going to hold back on the truth because it's going to hurt someone's feelings. That's not why I'm here. Listen to the beginning of the show. All right, everybody, thank you once again for tuning into Student of the Gun Radio. And we'll be back tomorrow and Friday with Bonus Hours 1 and Bonus Hours 2. If you'd like to be a part of it, go to getsotg.com, sign up, pay attention, listen louder. For the rest of you, I'll talk to you next Monday. Remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.